Good evening, everybody. This week we'll be talking about UFC Fight Night, Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady. This week's card I'm going to do a little bit different. I haven't had as much time this week to do quite as much tape work as I would have liked to have. So I'm only going to be touching on the fights that I actually either have a single in or I'm using them as a parlay. So I'm gonna pull up my two parlays first, and here they are. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Here we go. This first parlay is my favorite parlay. It's it's Sean O'Bannon versus Pulao Tomar, fight to go the distance. If you can get a decent over 2.5 line, earlier it was at a minus 520, but now it's jumped up to a minus 560. So I took fight to go the distance instead. And then the Wood and Charrier fight, I took over 1.5 rounds. And Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady over 3.5 rounds. That came out to a minus 105. And I have 3 units on that. I'll actually probably end up with a little bit more on that. So if it comes down to the Sean Brady fight, you could actually hedge the under 3.5 and guarantee yourself profit. I do this a lot in the UFC. I'm not going to sit here and say I recommend it, but I recommend it for myself. I've had way too many fights end by eye gouges or doctor stoppages or just something stupid and freaky. So here's my thinking on these 3 legs here is the Sean O'Bannon fight. I see this more of a 50-50 fight. Even though O'Bannon's like a minus 170 favorite, I think it's going to stay on the feet. They're both pretty high level, or I shouldn't say high level. They're pretty high efficient, and they're going to throw a lot of strikes. They're just not going to be strikes that are really going to knock anybody out. So I really like this fight to go the distance. If you can find a same game parlay of combining both of their significant strikes together and get like a plus 150 or plus 200 on it, I don't hate that either. I believe both of their significant strikes are in the 60 to 65 range right now. And then leg number 2 is Nathaniel Wood versus Morgan Charrier over 1.5 rounds. Wood's a really good fighter everywhere, but saying that, Morgan Charrier is probably just slightly better everywhere. But Nathaniel Wood has a chin. Like, he doesn't get knocked out. Morgan Charrier gets knockouts, but Nathaniel Wood doesn't get knocked out. So I don't see him getting knocked out. There might be a scary moment or two, but I really like over 1.5 rounds. Actually, I actually like this fight to go the distance, but I'm taking the security blanket with over 1.5 rounds. And then Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady. Edwards is going to be better on the feet. He's the better striker, but Sean Brady is going to pressure him and look for takedowns. And when he gets them, I don't see Edwards getting back up until the next round. But I also don't see Leon Edwards getting submitted either. So I like this fight over 3.5 rounds. And that parlay is a minus 105, like I said. Then my second parlay is Graham Catalata money line. He's going to be better everywhere. This is just a setup fight. But I do lean him winning by decision, but he's just going to be better everywhere. So I'm taking him on the money line. Then Jordan Vucenic, also I'm taking him on the money line. He's going up against Chris Duncan. More of a setup fight. I mean, the line's a little bit wide, but he's going to be better everywhere. I'm actually looking for him to wrestle because he should dominate on the ground. and then he should be live to get a submission or just win by decision, 30-27. And then my third and final leg is Alexia Thayanara on the money line. She's going up against Molly Meatball McCann. Molly was supposed to fight Estela Nunez, which would have been like the worst UFC fighter that they have to offer, because I think they were looking to get her a win, but that fell through. So Alex Steiner is filling in on short notice, and she's going to be better everywhere. This is a bad matchup for Molly. Thayanara is going to look to take her down. Molly sucks on the ground. She's not very good off her back at all. I think submission is live, and here's a couple, and that parlay is a plus 126. And here's a couple plays I'm going to be looking to implement in the Molly fight. Is Thayanara second round submission plus 1500. I'm putting 0.2 units on that. That will return 3 units. Then I'm going to put 0.15 units on a plus 2000 submission. That will also bring me back 3 units. Then I'm going to put 1 unit on win by decision. And if I win by decision, then I will end up profiting 1 unit because of spending 0.35 units on the other 2. I'm just basically taking a shot that Molly survives the first round, and then Thayanara dominates, and hopefully I'd like to see a sub in the second or third round. That would be kind of sweet. And then here are my other singles that I have. I'll pull them up here. Just give me a second. And they are right here. Hopefully you guys can see these. Sorry, wrong one again. Here we go. First one is Nick. Actually, it's Mick Parkin. Sorry, it's not Nick. It's Mick. Mick Parkin on the money line, minus 108. I meant to get it when it was a plus 107, and I missed it. And I got it the following morning at minus 108. It's now a minus 132. I would not recommend it where it's at. He is going to be 10 years younger. Marcin Tybura is now 39 years old. He's going to look to wrestle. He's going to have to wrestle to win this. He might get 1 takedown, but I don't see him getting more than that. And then I see Parkin taking over, either getting a knockout or even winning by decision. But if for some unknown reason you do like Tybura, a good look would be over 1.5 takedowns. It's a plus 110 right now. But I would probably recommend staying away from this now that it's a minus 132. I just don't see a lot of value in it now. And then the next one is Jan Blachowicz versus Carlos Alberg. Fight to go the distance. You might sit there and say, but Alberg's got some pop. And I do lean Alberg to be a little bit better. Jan is now 42 years old. We don't know what he's going to look like, but he has taken Alex Pereira, Ankalaev, and Adesanya to the decision. And this is only a 3-round fight. This isn't 5. This is 3. So I really like fight to go the distance, minus 110. And then my last play is going to be Sean Brady on the money line and over 2.5 rounds at a plus 105. You already know that I like the fight to go the distance, or at least over 2.5 or 3.5 anyways. And I like Edwards might have some early success, but I see Brady taking over and winning a hard-fought decision. So I'm taking the security blanket over 2.5 rounds and on the money line at a plus 105. It's a little bit shorter video this week, but those are my plays. There are a couple other overs that I like. Like I don't mind the Parkin over actually, and then the Dos Santos fight. That's another one that I went back and forth on whether or not to use that one as my over, but I ended up going with the Nathaniel Wood over instead. I like both of those overs actually. Um, and another sneaky prop to look at could possibly be Gunnar Nelson. I know it's risky, over 18.5 significant strikes. I think he gets there. Even though he's going to look for a submission, I still think he gets there. I think Kevin Holland lasts long enough to get him there. Even if Holland wins, I think he gets there. But those are my plays for this week's UFC Fight Night in London. I hope everybody has a great weekend and we cash some tickets.